Originally, I wasn't going to make this video, but Jill convinced me to, kind of twisted my arm. I'm not being held at weapon point, believe it or not. Although you can't see if I blink twice, so maybe I am. But today, we are talking about something that I wanted to share with you guys. And Jill's here too. And it's something that some of you already know about, but it's something I wanted to talk about a little more seriously and a little more in depth. And also, there's a ton of new subscribers here, too. Actually, in the last couple of weeks, we've gained like 1,000 new subscribers. So that's a lot of new people who don't...
Hello, new subscribers.
Hello. They say, hello. That's a lot of new people who don't know, the ins and outs of the channel, I suppose.
Yeah, so now we're going to tell you all of the ins and outs and the private parts and the outsides and the prostates.
Right. Well, we're going to just be glad that wasn't in the first 15 seconds. But today I really wanted to talk about Degenerate Plays. I don't think a lot of people fully know what this channel is. And I also know that when I was younger and a YouTuber would say, check out my second channel, I would be like, I don't want to. I just like I like the channel you do. I don't like change. I don't like new things. But also then I remember there were times where I'd be like, I wish this person did this too. And then 2 years later, I'd find out that they did.
Yeah, but they just did on their second channel and you were an idiot.
Yeah, and so that's something I've kind of noticed with Degenerate Plays, is I've gotten a lot of people on the main channel asking like, hey, why don't you play this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you talk about this subject in like a podcast style type thing?
We do that.
We do that on an entirely separate channel.
Yeah, we talk about some very interesting topics while we play games, while we also do some really cool stuff playing the games. And I think it's really fun. It's one of those channels that I think means a lot to us, because it's one of the biggest excuses we have to keep having people like our friend Nate over to play games all the time. And
yeah, if it weren't for that channel, Nate would be barred from this household. And permanently.
And I think it's fun for me personally to be able to edit the Elden Ring Let's Play, because I can see the story going on in that without having to sit with you guys and play the entire game with you guys when I have other stuff to do like my art. And that's something that I really enjoy about that channel. There's a lot of really enjoyable and wonderful things that channel means a lot to me. And it makes me kind of sad that some people just kind of refuse to check it out. So I kind of thought that it would be important to talk about it today.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't know it exists. I think a lot of other people think that it's just a Let's Play channel where it's like, oh, look, I'm rounding the corner. Oh, look, I'm hitting him. It's not that kind of thing.
No,
like, really,
it's not.
I don't want to say that we're Joe Rogan or something like that. Luna is going crazy here. But we run that channel more like a podcast.
You really don't have to even watch the screen, to be honest, if you just want to listen to what we're saying, because a lot of the conversations are really funny, especially between you and Nate.
Well, a lot of times, so what we do is we do a balance on that channel. So, like, let's say, right now we're playing through Gotham Knights. We've been playing through Gotham Knights for a long time. Because Gotham Knights is long.
Yes.
Believe it or not. And also, it's... I like the game, but, like, I like other games more, so, like, I don't want to sit down and play 12 hours of it to just get it done.
Yes.
But with Gotham Knights, say the characters are having an important conversation with the story, or there's an important cutscene, we let that play.
Yeah, we shut up.
A lot of Let's Play channels I see, they don't do that. They just talk right through it and don't care.
That's annoying.
And that's their style, and there's a ton of people who like that, and that's cool. I
find it annoying, personally.
That's not for me. That's not for me. But also, we run them like a podcast. So, like, yeah, we'll be talking about the game, but, like, Ezio might be carrying a box in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I might be making fun of the fact that Nate doesn't like mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or we might be talking about the history of the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely varies from episode to episode, and kind of one reason I wanted to talk about that is not to be like, LOL, I'm so random. Like those, like those early 2000s, e-girls or whatever. I guess you would say the prototype e-girls. But because, like, I think it's genuinely really fun to have a place where my friends, my family, and the community, too, is involved in conversations together. Because it's a lot smaller of a channel. It's a lot more, I guess I would say, personal because of that. Intimate, yeah. Where, like, I'm able to see the comments more often and respond to people and have conversations with them. Because Degenerate J, as infrequent as the success is of it, I get so many comments that there's zero chance of me seeing all of them. Mm-hmm. I try to answer them, and I try to see them, But there's no way if you actually look through all the videos. And something I really like with Degenerate Plays is it's just a way to kind of sit down, play a game together, talk, and have fun and listen. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's very fun to be able to, talk to each other and make fun jokes and stuff like that. And one of the things that I really enjoy is we don't necessarily have to talk about what's going on in the game. I mean, we do sometimes, but we also talk about other stuff, like what's going on in our lives and stuff like that. It truly is very podcast-y style, and that's something I really like about that channel.
I should mention, too, that channel is in the description of pretty much every video. But I also don't expect people to read the description of every video.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that.
Well, they should.
Like, I don't do that when I go watching YouTube videos.
Well, your descriptions are extremely funny.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're
Especially on the Let's Play channel, I feel like people are missing out on some of those descriptions.
I'm glad that you get a kick out of them. I don't know, like, I didn't want to make this video as, like, an ego stroke thing of, like, look how good what I'm making is or anything like that. But I more wanted to make it as, like, I hope people check it out. Because I really appreciate my community here, obviously, but also over there.
We're bringing awareness.
Yeah.
Hashtag Degenerate Plays Awareness Day.
Well, and I also think, too, that, with it, it's a little frustrating sometimes, not to make this a complaining video, but I've noticed that like I said, some of the things people want me to do, I'm already doing over there. It's just people don't check them out or watch them. And also, that channel is something we mainly do for fun. Like, I try and make a living between all of my channels together. And honestly, most YouTubers do that.
Yes.
I don't think that that's, like, out of the norm or, like, a ridiculous request at all to, like, try and make enough money to live off of between all your channels together. That channel is a money sink. It does not make money. And I'm not saying that in a way to, like, complain and whine, but I'm just saying it in a way of, like, I work, personally, 60 to 80 hours a week, sometimes more, actually, on just all this stuff. I know it doesn't always look like it because I'm not uploading every day on the main channel, but you have to think that I'm working between 4 channels here, managing the social media, capturing gameplay, recording audios, editing, all this stuff in the background. And it's sometimes a little frustrating that I don't think people really see that channel. That channel's not recommended to anybody. Like, I don't get any subscribers on that channel, really, that aren't from this channel.
It's really bizarre to me, too, because I remember when I was younger, like 11, 12, Let's Play channels were the big thing. Like, everybody was doing them. Like, they were the thing to get famous on YouTube. Everybody loved Let's Plays.
Well, now it's streaming. Now everybody wants you to do streaming. And, like, I do streaming sometimes, but the reason I don't do it as often with Let's Plays is because I genuinely think it makes the quality of the product go down. It's harder to hear the cutscenes. It's harder to manage the audio.
Yeah, we export some of these things in 4K, to make them look really nice.
And you're not going to be able to stream in 4K.
No, and I guess it just kind of makes me sad because I grew up loving Let's Plays and being really into them, and I always thought to myself, I want to be in a Let's Play. I want to do my own Let's Plays. And I was so excited about it, and now it kind of seems like YouTube just kind of killed them. And
yeah, kind of like art on YouTube.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, art and cooking on YouTube.
Yeah. And that's a shame because I used to watch a lot of art and cooking channels too.
Yeah, but now they don't really get recommended unless you already were following them.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And I genuinely think part of that is just YouTube trying to go more towards corporate. Like they want the late night show hosts. They want the Discovery Channel personalities. They want, one of the top 10 biggest YouTubers who's basically become a celebrity and a brand in their own right to do a Red original or whatever it's called, YouTube Premium now, I guess, original, where it's like, oh, look, it's our HBO Max type show. That's the kind of stuff they want, is corporate sellable stuff. They don't want podcasts. They don't want hanging out. They don't want, I don't know, like less scripted content that's more just discussions or authentic. Like what they want is very curated, very brand safe, zero risk scripted content from like big huge brands. That's what they want. They don't want people like us.
But if you're like me and you don't like that kind of stuff as much and you really enjoy things like unscripted content and the kind of stuff we do, well, we got a channel for that.
Yeah. Am I just complaining too much?
No, I don't think you're complaining too much, but I do think you're kind of explaining some of the ins and outs of YouTube. And sadly, those things aren't going to change, but we can try to pioneer our own path and have people who agree with us and like that path follow us. And that's why we want to bring awareness.
Well, yeah, and, I don't try to ever copy other channels, but some of the channels that really inspired me to do what, that channel does are ones like Super Best Friends Play, back when they did this kind of thing. Also, classic Game Grumps, I'm not saying that in like a rude way, like the JonTron era. I mean, like, classic Game Grumps, whereas it was like numbered parts and they would talk and hang out and play the game every part. I remember when I was a kid that for me, it was always fun because it felt like I was playing a game with my friends because I didn't really have that many friends.
Me neither.
And for me, it always felt like, hey, I'm, hanging out with somebody. I know it's like a parasocial relationship in that way. But it felt like, like I'm enjoying the company of these two people, even if they're not talking to me, and I'm enjoying this game, and I think it's fun, and then I can also play games on my own, too. But, it led to me discovering a lot of games I never would have played, before that, and kind of broadening my interests. It also led to me learning things about people and things that I never would have thought to look up. And that's kind of why I like that channel so much is... I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here so I don't drone on too long, but it's really just one of those things where it's like sitting down, playing a game with your friends on the couch, even if you are not actively talking, it kind of is, that's the vibe we're trying to do, it's like just a fun discussion type hangout thing. I don't know. Jill thinks I'm rambling too long. I can tell from the look in her eyes.
But I used to feel that exact same way. I used to watch people. He used to be called The Sim Supply, and then he just changed to James Turner. He was one of my favorite Let's Players of all time, because he did this channel called Flabberleaky. It was his second channel, just like how we do a second channel. And he did numbered parts, and he would talk during them. And that's how I discovered that I really liked sandbox and building games. Mm-hmm. And it was the kind of content that I just really enjoyed watching and could fall asleep to. And it made me feel like I had a friend. And stuff like that really meant a lot to me growing up because I didn't have very many friends. I didn't have many people to talk to. But when I turned on YouTube, I did have people to talk to. I mean, sure, I couldn't really talk back to them as much as I'd like to, but they were talking to me like I was one of their best friends. And
you could talk back to them if you just played it like Dora the Explorer, where it's like, where is Swiper? And then you yell at your screen.
Yeah.
So depending on how crazy you want to be, you can talk to us.
That's true. And I guess that's why the Let's Play channel means something to me, is because I know that there are people out there who are just like me when I was a kid, who don't really have friends, who are going through a really hard time, who maybe aren't in the best of places in their life right now. Maybe they're not in a great home, or, maybe they're going through a really bad time at school, or maybe their grandma just died.
Or maybe they're not going through any of that and they just like watching games and taking parts in discussions.
But
it goes both ways, too.
If I can bring a little bit of comfort to somebody and make them feel like we're good friends, for a little while, for somebody who doesn't really have very many friends, that means the world to me. Mm-hmm. And that's why I get excited when I get comments on my Magical Jill channel, when people say, oh, I really like this content, blah, 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 because it's like, hey, these people are talking back to me, it feels like I actually touched somebody. Not in a weird way.
Whoa.
Not in a weird way.
Well, yeah, and, that's something I really like about what we do, is, like, I could quit all of this tomorrow and just be done. And the college degree I have would triple the amount of money I make in a year.
Yeah. But we don't do that because we like our job.
Right. This is what I like doing. Like,
even though we're broke.
I like trying to make people happy or smile. I like talking about things and analyzing things on this channel, or covering even news or movie reviews on this channel. I like, talking about comics. I like, doing the podcast style videos on Degenerate Plays. I like narrating horror stories on King of Creepy. I like being in your video projects on Magical Jill. That's the kind of stuff I enjoy. And I guess the reason that it frustrates me is that it's not like something I do to chase money, because if it was, I would not do this at all. Mm-hmm. But it frustrates me that I want people to be able to see and enjoy this stuff, and I want to enjoy it with them. And I feel like the way that the systems are rigged and set up, people just don't even see it.
It feels like everything is against smaller YouTubers like us now.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we try really hard, the algorithm is just fundamentally against us.
And I also think, too, that they've conditioned a lot of people to just be against any criticism of it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've noticed anytime we talk about this, we will get a handful of people who say, like, you're just complaining, or, oh, well, if it was good, you'd get more whatever. Like, you always get that kind of thing, too, like the very corporate, like, simps who are like, you know, anything you say against corporate is not true, corporate God.
Well, at that point, why don't you just turn on cable?
Well, that's the problem with it, I think, too, is that they've conditioned a lot of people to think that everything they do recommend them is for their own good and is what they want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that a lot of the stuff I want to watch on this website is not on my recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I will go on my recommended, and there's always something that I would want to watch out of everything. But a lot of the stuff that I want to watch, I have to specifically search up.
Yeah, that's what I do,
YouTube.
too. I specifically search a lot of stuff up.
Because I genuinely think recommended kind of sucks. It's just a shotgun approach to, hey, we think that you'll be most likely to watch this. But what it doesn't do is, I'm subscribed to like 100 channels on my YouTube. I don't see half of them. I have to go click those to see when they upload. Mm-hmm. Because it says, oh, you watched too much of this guy. Now you'll never see that guy again.
You'll only ever see this guy ever.
Yeah, and I don't really like how that's run. I think it's inauthentic and ridiculous. And I guess kind of overall, like, without making this just a huge, like, YouTube sucks thing, this channel, Degenerate Plays, which is in the description, is really important to me. It's something I want to grow. It's something that I want people to enjoy. It's something that, again, you know, I want to succeed, and I want to be in a better position in a few years, because I don't like saying this, and I'm not saying it as an ultimatum, but there may come a point where, you know, if I can't find success on these channels together, I have to do something else. Mm-hmm. And that makes me really sad, but I also know I have to do what's best for my family, too. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have to do that. You know, I want these things that I care about to succeed, and I want them to succeed with you guys. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it today, because, like, I wouldn't say I'm massively crushed and depressed about it, but I've been a little down about it lately because, like, yes, we talk about this every probably 3 or 4 months, but it just doesn't seem to change. You know, it just doesn't seem like people see those special projects that we make, and like the things that tons of effort go into, they just kind of go unnoticed.
We also think it's important to tell some of the newer subscribers about this kind of stuff, because I kind of doubt that they're going to scroll months back just to find a video like this, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, too. It's like, this is mostly directed at newer subscribers and, like, those of you who maybe have only been around for a year or two. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, I'll throw, like, a mention at the end of the video of something, but I also see how long you watch the videos. And trust me, I have a bad attention span. Most people don't watch all the way to 20 minutes. No. So most people aren't ever going to see those things.
A lot of people only watch to 5 minutes in.
Yeah. And then complain.
Yeah.
And then think I don't know they watched 5 minutes in. Yeah. But I do. Yeah. And then they get mad at something I said at 9 minutes. Yeah. But they didn't watch it. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's kind of funny.
It is really funny.
Jill's telling me to wrap it up.
I think it's time to go. I think we said our piece. Yeah. I hope you guys check out all of our channels. We do a lot of really awesome stuff. And, you know, some of the other things that are really important to us are, like, my shop, Enchanted Glamour, and stuff like that. So
Jill just hit me while talking, by the way. Everybody know. Everybody know what kind of relationship's going on here. So
if you ever want to support us with actual monetary stuff, if you have the means to, Enchanted Glamour is the place to go.
That's pretty much our merch store.
We also have those memberships.
Well, and also, I know it sounds like, oh, it must be girly because it's glamour. It's not all girly stuff. Like, a bunch of this stuff is me. Like, there's bracelets I made on there. Mm-hmm. There's, resin coasters of superheroes and things from recycled comics. I go hunting around thrift stores.
I'd kind of argue most of my resin products are kind of manly, to be honest.
Well, and I go hunting around thrift stores for, comic books that are being tossed. But they're basically being discounted at like a dime a piece or whatever, and they're going to be thrown out if they don't sell.
Yeah, and, something that really bothers me about that is when they're thrown out, the ink is really bad for the environment. It can poison animals, especially if it gets into water and stuff like that.
Especially for the old comics, which also, believe it or not, are thrown out by these places.
Yeah, I have personally witnessed it, and it makes me very sad.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to help support keeping the world clean, having something...
Wow, moral.
Having something really fun to put on your desk so you don't get like little drink rings on your desk, and you want to maybe give me like a little bit of money so I can actually continue doing my dream and your dream, then, well, it means a lot to us.
And these channels do also have memberships as well. The membership for Degenerate Plays, I do want to say, has probably close to 40 videos on it that are exclusive to members now. The membership on this channel is a little newer, so, you know, it's kind of something we're working on still, and I'm still uploading stuff to this channel, but there are access to exclusive videos on this channel. There is also, of course, sometimes access to new videos faster. It just depends on the day. It's not every video.
You know, even if you can't do the money thing, like giving us money or anything, because you may not be in financial areas to do so, because we certainly aren't, you know, watching our videos, it actually helps a lot. You know, and commenting and pressing like and stuff, you wouldn't think it, but watching the videos and watching the ads helps us so much.
Those are the things that tells YouTube that this channel is not trash.
Yes.
You know, that like, oh, people actually like this. This isn't just like a content farm garbage simulator.
And that's free stuff you can do. And another free thing you can do is like posts on Instagram that we make and stuff like that, and get people to see it. Because every single like that you give us helps shove it towards people who will see it and continue giving us likes and continue saying, hey, this is great content, and it'll make YouTube think that we're great.
And if it makes you more likely to do it, maybe eventually I can release a PSA where it's playing In the Arms of an Angel, and it's like black and white, and I look very sad in different shots.
I like those ASPCA commercials.
Yeah, and I look really sad in different shots, and like I've gone through complete hell even though I haven't.
But then if people donate a penny, we have to give them like a whole t-shirt or something.
No, we don't have to.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to.
Okay.
Leave that to the big corporation. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you. I know it was, 20 minutes. I was hoping it'd be like 10, but that's just kind of how it is. So
the more people you have in a video, the higher the minutes go up.
That's true. If it was just me, it would have been like a 7-minute video, because I would have gotten embarrassed and felt like I was begging and shut it off.
Well, whereas I have so much stuff to say all the time.
Nobody could tell.
I have a hard time not interrupting people because I have so many things going through my mind, and I want to be like, yeah, I agree. I want to say things
That's
too.
okay. I also eagerly await your ADHD diagnosis from the doctor.
I actually genuinely think that's coming pretty soon.
So anyway, we appreciate you very much. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, and for some reason this was like your introduction to it, we have a lot of stuff that we do on this channel. We do videos on DC Comics properties, Marvel Comics properties, sometimes Star Wars. It's been a little while. Fallout games.
I do videos on anime.
Hey, excuse me, let me finish.
Oh.
James Bond, Batman, and what was something else we did? Assassin's Creed.
We love Assassin's Creed.
We've been doing a lot of that recently. Jill has her own channel, Magical Jill, where she does videos on anime, Pokemon, also collectible reviews. Degenerate Plays is the video channel we've been talking about a lot here, where we hang out and play games podcast style. And then finally, we do also have the King of Creepy, which, Jill, do you want to talk about that for a second?
King of Creepy. King of Creepy, acronym COCK, is one of my favorite channels we've ever made. I am obsessed with people like Mr. Nightmare and Lazy Masquerade and all these other YouTubers who do dark, scary stories. And if you love horror and scary stories, you will love that channel. I could put so much work in the sound effects and the video stuff that we do, like the pictures, to try and make it feel like you're immersed into the world of scariness. And I put like really creepy music and stuff, and sometimes I put like voice modulators to make our voice sound different.
You do genuinely very, very good editing on that channel.
It really means a lot to me.
Done like a video project, and it's honestly impressive to me, because I don't do the editing on that channel. I just do the recording, and it's really impressive to me every time I listen through to like one of the final projects and just kind of hear it. And they're kind of done almost like a short film in a way, like, or an attempt at like a classic type radio show, where you like a radio drama type thing.
One of my favorite videos I have ever made on that channel so far is the computer voice stalker one. I highly recommend that. Definitely go check it out. It's probably the best video on that channel.
Well, and I appreciate you very much. I appreciate the people checking this stuff out. So we hope you all have a fantastic day. And as always, everyone,
stay swag!